Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and welcome to my Cricut Design Space tutorial. Today we are going to continue what we started in tutorial 7 about the shapes and objects. We are going to continue the rest of the functions and what other options we can do. So let's start. Now what other things we can do? You can group your objects. So grouping means you select both of them, and as I said there are many options either from the right panel and group. And that makes it as if you put both objects in paper bag. So you can move them on the screen at the same time or rotate them at the same time or make it bigger together or you change the position together. So it's acting together. But remember, grouping is they are only grouped on the screen. If I click make it now, they will not be together. To make the object together in the same position on the mat, you need to click attach. That's the only way to keep it exactly where you want it on the screen. Now, when you select an object and you want to decide to ungroup it again, you just simply select what you wanted and then ungroup again. Now, if I put this object, the heart, above the pentagon, simply it's over it, it's above it. What about if I want to move the heart underneath the pentagon? So there are simply you do arrange. So send it to the back or move backward. The difference between them, if you have move backward option, that means you are moving it one step backward, just one level down. So if I go move backward, it will be one level down. If I want to move it up again, I will move it forward. Now, what about if I selected send to back? It will give the same result here because I only had two objects. Okay, what is the flipping? The flipping is simply will make it the vertically or horizontally flipping. So the vertically will be a great example for the heart. So flip vertically, it will be upside down, the other side. So if we want the objects to be aligned in the same y-axis, then simply select all the objects and come here to align. And you can see here a logo next to the word. This one says it's center horizontally, and you can see a thin line in the middle vertically. So then if I select this one, they will be underneath each other. But I also want the distance between them to be the same. So you click align, and in this case, distribute vertically. So now the distance exactly the same. I'll maybe move this one a bit so you can see what's happening. Align and distribute vertically. So exactly the same distance from the center of the object to the other object, exactly the same, and between the heart and other one. Now, what about if I want to make this one exactly in the middle of that circle? So select them both, left click and drag, or from the right panel, and then align and then center. That will be exactly the same. Now you can't see it because it's hidden behind it. So simply while that circle is selected, arrange and then send to back. Another thing we can do to move, to send it backward or forward, you can actually drag them from the right panel. So you can select your object and move it down. So left click, while you are holding left click, drag down. Or I can move it up again. So left click, and while holding, move it to the very top. Another thing we can do is from the right panel, if you click Control key on your keyboard and open the bracket, that will move the object down to the very bottom of the right panel. You keep clicking on it. Let's say I want to move it up again, move it forward. So simply Control key, and while you are holding it on the keyboard, click on the close the bracket. So now I did it. So it went one level up. I will click on the close the bracket again, one more level up. So from the right panel, we also have the option to delete here, or I could have hidden it. So if I select this one, you can see the eye shape. If I click on it now, the eye shape is crossed. That means it's hidden and it will not show on your mat. If I want to make it available again and visible and to be available on the mat while we are doing the cut, then simply click on the eye again and now it's available. One more thing, it's good to know, if you want to move your object on the screen, of course you can move it this way, but what about you want to move it and be sure it's on the same horizontal axis? So simply on your keyboard, while the object is selected, click on the right arrow, or you can click on the left arrow. But if you wanted to move faster and it's still on the x-axis, click on the shift key on your keyboard, and while you are holding it, click on the arrow, the right arrow or the left arrow. So it's moving faster, 1 inch. Or you can move it, of course, up on the same vertical axis or move it down. Last thing I would like to mention in this tutorial is the color syncing. So those are the layers. What about if I want to change all of them to the same color of the pentagon, that navy? So you, of course, can select the heart and go up on that colored square and then select the other color. But you may by accident select another shade. So what is the best way? The best way, you click on color syncing to see all the colors available on the mat. So as you can see, you have the orange circle and have other colors exactly the same shade. What about if I want to make the circle exactly the same color like the heart and the pentagon? Simply left click on that one and then drag it down. And now they are all in the same shade. At any stage you want to change anything backward, you click undo. Please remember to save your project before you press make it. That's another thing very important, because if anything went wrong or the machine got frozen, you will end up clicking on view and reload, but it will not work except if the project is saved. Next time we are gonna talk more about how to make new shapes from the basic shapes. And also we are going to talk more about the layers, because here in the right panel there are more options like a slice, weld, attach, and the contour. So we will need to cover that as well in the next tutorials. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching and see you in next tutorial.